Hi, this is Maginoni, and this new publishing company, Benaroya Publishing, which is going under Image, sent me a couple books, so I thought I'd do a quick review for them. First up is almost said Dead, Red Spike. Now, the gist from what I gathered from Red Spike is this: you have the army creating in an attempt to create super soldiers, and it's giving you like a bunch of flashbacks, jumping from different periods of time, and also going to the present. So even though this is issue number 3 of 5, I found jumping into it just from this point really easy to figure out. Now, I thought like the artwork, it's okay. It's nothing like a wow, but on the same time, it's fine. It does what it needs to do to get the job done. It portrays superpowered beings and whatnot. So I guess that part's good there. Now, the gist of the story here is there's two guys, Maddie and Greg. Now, Maddie originally was this young kid whose father was part of the army, and his father was killed in the line of duty. And a colonel guy basically watched over the family. And throughout time, basically he saw an opportunity to help guide Maddie's career to become a super soldier. Now, don't get me wrong, even though I'm kind of implying that that's what his whole intent was from the very beginning, I don't think so. There's clearly a moment in time where basically Matt, he's a really talented basketball player, but yet it's from a hick high school. So it's like, he's not really that big of a player, so it's not like he's going to get, drafted or, to get a good scholarship for college. He knows he's not going to make it in the pros. His mom's, working extra hard for, to pay his way to college. So it just was, a marriage of convenience, I guess you can say. Now, Greg, on the other hand, this guy is trouble. He started off fighting, and he kind of, I guess you can say, almost has a killer instinct, because he just doesn't know how to turn off, like, when to stop. And basically what happens is there's a whole bunch of people that were recruited into a program, and eventually what happens is Greg, for what I don't know why he left, but he left, and the government's sending Maddie to go after him. Now, the one thing, I guess you can say it wasn't a surprise, but, obviously the government's hiding something. Greg figured it out, and, Maddie's basically blindly following orders type thing. So you kind of have an interesting dynamic where you have the guy who's trying to do right, the guy who's, basically in control of himself, but doesn't see the bad, versus, the guy who is bad can see and recognize what's going on, and it's like nobody's going to listen to him because he's a loose cannon type thing. Now, the ending, the ending battle, it ends with starting to fight, and the ending battle, they basically go to Washington, they're in Washington, D.C., and where they choose to fight, I'm not really that thrilled about, but I think what they've done is, I think they've laid a really decent groundwork about, here's some characters, they're doing a good job at keeping you involved in the story, where it's like, because it keeps flashing back and forth, you don't get bored. It's not like it's preaching to you, like, this is what it is. It's more like, it's feeding you information as a need-to-know basis. Now, these types of stories, as a rule, I kind of tend to like them. I don't know why. I just find it interesting, where you have normal humans who get, turned into super soldiers type thing. And, while the story isn't necessarily a new and original concept, I think, for whatever reason, I don't know, I just like it. I like the modern take of it versus, like the standard Captain America side of it. Now, since this is in the middle of the story, so far I'm curious to see if this is going to pan out to be a good trade issue. But like I said, if this is something that you were interested in, it is issue 3, and for the most part, like I said, I picked it up and I can figure out exactly kind of what, pretty much what's going on, and I don't need a lot of, I don't think I really need to get the first 2 just to figure out the story. But if I like what's going to continue, then what I'll probably do is I'll trade it, so that way I can get the first 2 issues. If you have any comments or questions, let me know. Rate the video up or down. Let me know what you think, and I'll have another review up shortly. So until next time.